We may not hear a lot about adult bullying, but it is a problem, and today, on this National Day of Action Against Bullying and Violence, we're going to talk about it with Executive Coach Vanessa Vershaw. Good afternoon to you, Vanessa.
Good afternoon, Tracy.
What does adult bullying look like?
Well, look, some startling facts are that every 30 minutes a child who has been the target of bullying thinks about their own life ending. And to be quite frank with you, it's no different for adults. The only difference is that the stage has moved to a different playing field, but the consequences are just as dire. And in fact, in Australia, workplace bullying for adults is on a sharp rise.
So what are some examples that people can witness?
So bullying forms into two main categories. The first are indirect and the second are direct tactics. The direct tactics are the things that we hear about most. So it's things such as people being yelled at in public, berated, eye-rolling behaviour, things that are very obvious. The indirect tactics are a lot harder to manage, and they're the things that we don't see, which can obviously form a greater psychological harm. So these are things such as, for example, gossiping, the rumour mill, spreading rumours and lies about somebody, white-anting, which is talking about them in a way that undermines their competence. And in addition, probably one of the most heinous is called gaslighting. And that's where the bully, who is typically psychopathological, because there is a difference between people behaving badly and somebody who is actually a bully, and you need to be able to recognise the two. But the gaslighter will actually create a story or make the target believe that actually they're in a reality that's not true. So, for example, they may have an exchange where they're talking about something where there's been some type of an incident.
Okay.
And the target will say, well, it didn't. The target will say it really didn't happen.
Yeah, there's some really good detailed examples there, Vanessa. We need to talk about some statistics as well, because you've got an interesting one here. 40% of women are the bullies, and you say in workplaces, and they tend to bully other women.
Yes, that's right, and it's kind of the most understudied phenomenon that exists. So 40% of women are bullied, and they do have a preference for bullying other women. And men swing either way, to be quite honest with you. They don't really have a preference. But what we're seeing is that it is on a sharp rise as well, because of the fact that women are so underrepresented in the higher order leadership positions in organisations. It's making it a lot more frequent.
Okay, finally, Vanessa, what is your advice?
My advice is a couple of things. Firstly, find out what types of recourse you would have in an organisation that you were thinking about joining before you do. The second thing is be able to spot the difference between somebody behaving badly and somebody that is actually a psychopath with the intention to harm, which is quite different. Build up your power base in the organisation, so build those relationships so that should anything happen, you actually have some support, and act quickly before your self-esteem plummets and you don't have any more energy to fight.
All right. Thank you very much for your advice, Vanessa Vershaw, and thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.